Welcome to Meditative Drawing. I'm glad that you're here. Here are some examples of meditative drawing. You can see the different approaches. Everyone's drawing will be a little different. Everyone will choose different colors and just work a little differently with their markers. Remember, this is about enjoying the process and quieting the brain, not worrying about the results.
Okay, I'm going to show you an exercise, and we're going to synchronize our breath and drawing, and basically draw how you're breathing. It's a very simple exercise, but there's a complexity behind it that's really wonderful, and it quiets down busy thoughts, and it's a really useful thing to do if you've got a lot of strong emotion, if you're angry, you're sad, or upset about something, and you just need to quiet down to focus on something. And it's also a good thing to do before bed. Okay, so you just start and you breathe in, you pause, and breathe out. Pause and breathe in. Pause, breathe out. Pause, breathe in. Pause, breathe out. Pause. Breathe out and pause. Breathe in and pause. Breathe out. Pause. Breathe in. Yeah. So it's an exercise you can do anytime.
See all the different approaches. Everyone's drawing will be a little different.
I'm going to start today by doing sort of a wave form just across the middle of my page in pencil. And this is just going to give me a little bit of an outline of what I'm going to be drawing. I'm going to do a spiral there, just a very open spiral, and a very open spiral here. And you can also use the one that's in the worksheet. So these are just sort of beginning shapes that give me somewhere to begin, so it's not so scary to begin on the page, and I'm not worried about making mistakes. let's see, do I want to do another circle here? I think I'll do another little spiral here. Okay, all right, so those lines just give me a place to begin. Okay, so then I'm going to pick a few colors, and I think I'm going to focus today on blues and greens. So you can see these drawings that I have done, and you'll see them on your worksheets, and just making some of these different marks that are here. So this is a mix of dots and little strokes, and we've got some little lozenge shapes here and lines with dots on them, some dots here. So you can make up your own, or you can follow along and do what I'm doing, and either is absolutely fine. So I'm going to start by just doing some of these dots, all the same size, just to outline my shape so I sort of know where I'm working. And I'm just going to work slowly and not necessarily in any logical order. Just start making dots all the same size, and later I can erase my pencil lines. So just start by doing some dots, and I'm going to work all along the lines that I have drawn. And don't worry about messing something up, because a lot of this is just using a set of colored markers. So you can just see the mix of these, and yeah, they've just got a bullet point, and so you can see what those are. Any set of markers is just fine to begin with, and over time there are markers you can use that are waterproof. Okay, so now I've got my basic shapes defined, and I get to play with them. Okay, so I can do a bit of variety from them. So I could do some larger circles or some smaller circles or dots. Let's see. I might do some larger ones first. Okay, I'll start over on this side so I don't smear so easily. Do I want to do open? No, I think I'll do them closed. Okay. With any drawings that you do, there's always going to be things that you like and things that you don't like at the end of the piece. So instead of just getting upset about what you don't like, just take note of that, and then you can redraw things and do the things that you liked about your drawing again, and then skip the things that you didn't like. So I will often redo something and say, oh, you know, the first time I wish I'd done smaller dots, and then I'll build larger dots, or whatever it is, or say, you know, I don't really like that blue, I want a different blue. So you can always redraw whatever you do, and certainly in meditative drawing that's a wonderful practice, because you're not having to reinvent everything or think too hard the next time. You're just redoing something, making a few changes. So it's a really good way to quiet down the brain. And just notice the pressure that you put on your marker and what that feels like, having contact with the page. And this is also really good practice because there's an awful lot of very well-known artists like Van Gogh and Brett Whiteley who have a lot of mark making in their artworks. I've seen some lovely drawings by Van Gogh where there's fields of crops, and yeah, there's a lot of really interesting sort of mark making in them. And the same thing with Brett Whiteley, some of his water drawings with water in them have some really lovely marks. So these learning to make particular kinds of marks can also be useful in a serious art practice if that's something that you care about. And meditative drawing also just gives your brain a break. So if big things are happening in your life, you're having to deal with change, and there's certainly a lot of change in the world right now, it just gives your mind a little pause from that, and you get to focus on color and shapes and just how hard you press your marker on the page and really simple things like that. And it gives your brain a break from all those other things we have to solve. Sometimes I do a bit of meditative drawing before I go to bed. If I'm in the evening, I'm still thinking about all the things of the day or the things I didn't get done. And I find that just doing a page of drawing gives the brain something to do and sort of takes it out of gear. I overthink things a lot, so I find that helps. Okay, all right. Let's see. What do I want next? Okay, I think I'll do some sort of almost gray, really small dots. So each time I'm just changing the size and the spacing of the dots. And that makes the pattern interesting. It gives something for your eye to look at. And when I've done a pencil line at the beginning, that gives me a curve that I like, and I can redraw that a few times if I don't like the curve that I've drawn, and then I can follow it for the rest of the drawing, and it makes it easy. I don't have to concentrate so hard. Okay, yeah, that's starting to work. I'm liking that. Sometimes when I start, I'm not so sure I like what I do. I just keep going anyway. It's important to remember that if you don't like what you do, you can just throw it out at the end. It really doesn't matter. Remember, you can draw faster or slower than me, and that's just fine. And on your worksheet, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of marks, and you can play with those. This is just doing really simple things, just playing with dots. Okay, good. Okay, I'll just do inside here. there's the first round. Let's see, I might make some different sorts of marks here. Okay. Let's see. No, that's this one. Okay, let's see what's next. I've got some dots. Okay. I'm going to play with some lines, add some, and then I'll combine that with some dots. Give myself different textures here. Okay. So the mix of lines and dots give me different sort of textures. Yep. Okay, good. And you can make up your own variations of this. They don't have to be the same as mine, as then you'll have a creation that's unique. Okay, so I'm just working away here, working my way around. And you can decide when things cross like this what you want to do, if you want to avoid them or have them not cross, or to just go ahead and cross over. Okay, so I'm quite comfortable with that. That's quite nice. And let's see what else. I might put some different colored dots in between here. Yeah. Yeah, these may not fit everywhere, but I'll just see where they work. So that's working quite nicely. And you can also vary the spacing. You can have dots very close together, dots very far apart. Just play with some of those differences. Okay, yeah. So you can see how I've mixed with different colors of blue and blue-gray and just created an artwork from really simple marks here, really simple marks. Now what else do I want to do? Do I want to add some more here? I think I might. And you may work slower or faster than me, that's absolutely fine. And you may create an image that's really quite different from what I do, or you might do one that's sort of the same. And all those choices are fine. What I'm doing is a guide or an inspiration, and you can follow along, or you can just use it as inspiration and ideas to create something of your own that's quite different. This sort of doodling or mark making or meditative drawing, it's also been found that it makes it easier for you to pay attention to something that's boring. So if you've got something that you have to listen to and somebody's doodling, it can actually help them pay attention rather than being a distraction. Now I saw somewhere that I needed some extra marks and I've forgotten where it is. There it is. Okay. I'm sure you do things like that too. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting because it sort of looks like doodling would be something that distracts, but it actually can help people pay attention because it gives them something that keeps their brain just somewhat engaged so that they don't drift off, and that can keep their brain sort of on the topic in a way that you almost wouldn't expect, really. Yeah. Okay, I think I might do some wiggly lines here. There we go. Okay. Now, I think we're pretty close to done. And you don't have to fill in all the spaces there. I might just do some little dots here and there. I'm not sure if I want the gray or the pale aqua, but I think I'm just going to do some pale gray so it doesn't dominate. It just has a little bit of something going on in the spaces here. So I'm just putting some spaced out dots, very small dots, and quite spaced out, just so that there's a sense of something filling in there. Some of them are a bit closer and some of them are a bit far away, but trying to keep them rather irregular. Okay, so yeah, that's just about finished. Almost done there. Okay, well, I think that's about done. So I'll be very curious to see some of the work that you each do. And yeah, just to review, we started off with some pale pencil lines here, and I'll leave this to dry a little bit, and then I'll take an eraser and take that line out again. So I did a little curvy line there, and if you don't get a nice curve the first time, that's okay. Erase it and just redraw it. And then I did some spirals off in different directions. These. And I did one of them that was a bit bigger than the others, and that sort of...
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed your session. I'm glad that you came.